Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
There we go. It is the NFL Roundtable Talks. I got my buddy Ken Dobie here. I got, holy shit, it's Von Doom.
Yeah, I'm still alive.
Beastrilla the Thriller. Good to see you, brother. And, of course, Will Vogel.
Bears fans exist?
Oh, Lord, here we go.
Here we go. Gonna start already.
Well, you know what? Time out.
Panther fans are relevant?
No, they're not.
No.
Hey, Ken,
Oh,
I got a question for you, Ken. As a Bears fan, why the hell didn't you guys name this the Cuddle Sports Network?
So true. So true.
Wait, you cut out there. Say it again.
I said, why didn't you name it the Cuddle Sports Network?
Well, a
No
Packers
Bears.
fan and a Bears fan got together and named it the Huddle Sports Network. So, the Huddle football, kind of all teams. We know that Lions fans think the sun revolves around them. But I'm
Really?
sharing this show right now.
Coming from a Chicago Bear fan. Oh my God!
Oh my
That's
God.
the way to
Now
the
you take
Y'all need to stop drinking that Lake Michigan water. That's what y'all need to stop doing.
I'll say this. I like the Bears better than the Lions. I don't care.
Well,
Get
that's
out.
your opinion, and your opinion
Just leave
sucks.
the show.
Okay.
I like
Fuck
their
you,
colors.
Bears
I don't
fan.
care.
Joey Uso in the chat again. Yep, no problem.
You sound like a woman when you say that.
Yeah? You look like a woman when you take your pants off.
That's not what she said.
Because you're
I heard,
killing
I heard Will thought he had a hair till he peed through it.
Oh, come on.
I'm surprised you know what a woman is. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah, I went there. What the hell? Will doesn't even have to talk shit. It just falls out his chin.
That makes me laugh. That's really funny.
That's something Dan would say.
Yes.
All right, you've now been shared out to a few Twitterverses. So
We've been whored out.
yeah. Well, you hear that a lot, don't you?
We've been pimped out.
The
So what's
NFC
up,
North
JD? What's on the-
Brewing.
So what's up, JD?
Huh.
What's on the docket?
Well, the first is, we all heard the news earlier this week that Cowboys wide receiver Deontay Turpin, their big kick returner, is arrested.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Illegal firearms and possession charges.
So the same old bullshit, different player.
He had a gun and some marijuana on him and he got locked up. It's Texas.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. Well, you can have the gun. I don't know about the marijuana.
I don't think there really is a thing as an illegal gun in Texas as long as you have
Right.
it open carry.
Yeah.
For
Open
real.
carry. By the way, isn't Texas open carry?
Uh-huh.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd be interested to see what he violated in their very strict gun laws in Texas.
No, it was the
I
I thought
marijuana.
they issued you a gun when you moved there.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Are,
hope
but-
so.
Yeah, they issue you a gun and they take away your porn. That's what they do in Texas.
Ah,
Fuck yeah, I got a phone. I'll make my own.
I think they probably said his gun wasn't big enough for the state.
Holy fuck! Is
you
that
call that a
giant
gun?
Call that gun? That's a BB. That's a pistol.
fan? I don't know what the gun is, but I know it was fully automatic. Is why.
Oh, well, that's the problem.
Oh yeah.
That was the problem. You
That's
can't
where you
go
fucked
full
up.
auto. Now without a Class A license, you can't.
I'm
Nope.
looking up.
Ain't this our buddy Robbie though? Oh, Dad just smoked in. I wish the phone bird was working. But ain't this Robbie?
Yeah, that's Robbie.
So Jeremy, sorry,
Kirby.
can't speak. He was pulled over. He was going 97 in a 70-mile-per-hour zone, and it was a
Not too bad.
9mm pistol in plain view in the back of the car and fewer than 2 ounces of marijuana.
Oh, that's not too bad.
And we've all driven around with worse than that in our car.
I
Right.
mean, doing 27 over, like, that's not, like, terrible.
No.
I mean,
No,
you know, I mean,
I
it's,
think-
I guess it's considered, was it, in some states, what, 20 miles over is considered reckless driving, but
Yeah.
some states it's 30. I mean, but, you know, so it's probably interstate. So 97 and a 70, not that big of a deal. 2 ounces of weed, not that big of a deal. The weapon being in the back seat, it's
It was
Texas.
invisible sight, though.
Yeah, he didn't get a slap on the wrist for that.
Yeah.
That's just media newsworthy
Yeah.
crap. That's all that is.
The most trouble
when
he's going to
I
get
first
in is
read
the
that, I was like,
marijuana.
First of all, it's Turpin. Who gives a shit?
Well, you know what it is? It's like, hey, now we don't have to make up a headline today. We actually have something we can print. We don't have to make up a lie about how someone's getting traded.
But I think it's funny that 7 hours ago, Eli Manning tapped out on buying a share of the Giants.
Yeah,
That's interesting. Why would he do that?
I'm gonna look that up.
He's probably still mad because they started Geno Smith over him on his consecutive game streak.
If he ain't, I fucking am.
He says
I know.
it's too-
That's why I said it. I did it just to get under Dan's skin.
So what I'm reading right now is Eli said it's too expensive right now. And the last time Forbes did a valuation of the Giants was 7.3 billion, while CNBC, who does like the Squawk Box and those shows, estimated it to be 7.85 billion.
Yep.
With a B.
Billion.
You know, I mean, I wonder how much he's got. I wonder how much of a stake he has in his brother's Omaha Productions.
Probably
No
tiny.
idea.
He's got a piece of it because every time they do something, like they're on the mega brands that built America at A&E show, they're producing it now because all of a sudden I'm like watching the show and they're talking about like, you know, whatever company it was Microsoft or whatever. And these two knuckleheads are making comments like, why the hell would the Manning brothers be on a show making comments about like Polaroid or whatever? It's like, oh, well, they're producing it. So, I mean, they went to the entertainment industry with their production company and they produce all those shows on ESPN Plus, you know, like PK's Places, Stephanie's Places for the WWE.
Peyton's Places.
Now they've gotten shows on A&E and Discovery and Netflix. Like they're making money. So I wonder how big of a piece of that Eli has.
I don't know. How about you ask him?
Yeah, call him up.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't he? He also owns part of the of Gotham, doesn't he?
The soccer team?
I think he owns part of Gotham. He's a part owner of Gotham. So I
Gotham
mean, he's making.
City? I thought Batman owned Gotham.
Yeah. No. He is Batman.
He is.
That happened. That happened when he got sacked. He woke
Yeah.
up and the coach said, "Who am I?" He goes, "Coach, who is that?" "The wide receiver." "Who are you?" "I'm Batman."
Oh,
I'll tell you.
yeah, I
I'll
remember
tell you who I think is going to
that.
buy a part of a
That
team.
was great.
You know who's going to buy a part of a team when he retires? I bet Kirk Cousins buys a part of a team.
Minnesota.
His fucking
That
agent
dude-
keeps up, he can buy a whole team.
Atlanta.
That's the thing, that dude does not spend his money. If you watch quarterback, I mean, he's got a Benz now, big deal. His house is modest. It's not like this big, huge mansion. The guy goes and gets his hair cut at Great Clip, so he pays $22 and leaves a nice tip. I mean, the guy lives cheap. His favorite drink is a Roy Rogers, for crying out loud. So he's spending his money on grenadine and 2-liter bottles of Coca-Cola. I mean, are you kidding me? The guy does not spend money. I bet he's made what, 800-900 million in his playing days or whatever. He's made a fortune. I bet he's going to buy into a team. Because that's what these guys are doing now. That's where the money is. You buy a team. You don't need a nightclub. Besides, I can't see Kirk Cousins owning a nightclub.
That would be funny.
The Ned Flanders Club? No, don't see that happening. He's not going to do a restaurant. What else are you going to do? Buy a team. Everyone else is buying a team. Why not Kirk?
Buy the Bears, deport them to a different state.
Holy shit. You want on, Pensman? Let me know. I'll put the link in the chat.
He's going to open himself up a chain of jewelry stores and just call it Kirko Chains.
Yeah. I wouldn't.
That's a good one. I like that.
It put Jared's out of business.
Have you guys watched Quarterback at all? Have any of you guys watched Quarterback?
Yeah, I watched all of it. Yeah.
Did you see after the Vikings game how they were like literally lining up to shake his hand? His former teammates.
They love him there.
That's respect right there, man. That's respect.
They love him there.
Yeah.
Then he also the whole Jared Goff thing when they talked about the trade and how betrayed he felt about it because remember the Friday before that trade happened. Literally, Sean McVay said in an interview, Jared Goff is our guy. We just signed him to the big extension. He's not going anywhere. And then come Tuesday, hey, you're going to Detroit. And
but look, we all watched had he not been following Twitter or watching the news, I mean, they were talking about this trade with Stafford for like almost a week, a couple days before it actually happened. I get what he said. They should have called me first and hey, I get that. But come on, dude, you had to have an inkling when it was everyone, their brother, sister, it was everywhere. That they're hanging out in Puerto Vallarta in the hot tub together. I mean, dude, come on.
I think you're precipitating it the wrong way, brother. He didn't say he didn't. He said nobody called him into the office to discuss the situation. That was the point that he didn't like.
Yeah,
he didn't necessarily know that he wanted to leave. They wanted to get rid of him, but at least call him in the office and say, "Look, dude, we're going a different direction. Blah blah blah. We're going to get Stafford. We're going to trade you to Detroit. Blah blah blah." They could have done that. They didn't tell him shit. They just said, "Bye bye. Pack your bags. Bye."
That's true. I mean, the funny thing about Goff was they spent more time with his wife than they did him, I think, in that show.
Right.
Yeah, they did focalize on his wife a lot, though.
Rightfully so. That got ratings.
Oh, yeah. Well, come on. She's an outside swimsuit model, of course.
Right. She was
she actually has a personality.
Did you see that one part where he was playing, they beat Houston, right? They came back and beat Houston. She was at a shoot, and all she was showing was her titties. I was like, oh my God, this girl's just got the breasts all in the damn camera. I'm like, what the hell? Take them off.
But the best one was when they got their first win versus Minnesota. Because she was actually at that photo shoot where she was in the swimsuit issue.
That's what he was talking about.
That's
What is this on Netflix, Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix. It's called Quarterback. They covered him, Kirko Chains. Was it Russell Wilson?
No, it was Kirk Cousins. It was
Joe Burrow
and Joe Burrow and Mariota.
No, it was just the three. No. Just the three.
Just three. Joe Burrow, Goff, and
Kirko Chains.
Yeah.
Good. I don't blame him for wanting to spend more time with the wifey.
Yeah, I don't either. And Burrow, man, Burrow balls. I liked Burrow anyways. I mean, Burrow, though, he's like, I bought the Batmobile. He's nerding out and geeking out. And, of course, after the housebreaking, he cancels it. I don't blame him. But, the way his swagger is, you wouldn't think he's like some comic book nerd who's in the samurai swords and Batman, but he is. Gotta love it. Yeah.
Yeah, he gave all his offensive linemen at samurai swords. I thought pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's like, most guys say, I got him samurai swords. He's like, oh, no. I got him samurai swords that were actually worn by real samurai and have the entire lineage of the sword with it. I'm like, he just went to that next level with it. You know what I mean? It's just, you gotta like the guy. And he balled out.
He said he had a what it was that had
A couple things from the school, like for the little boys.
and her father, her godfather, something was Sylvester Stallone or something like that. And
his assistant is Sylvester Stallone's niece or cousin or something like that. And so she reached out to Sly to say, hey, where'd you get this when you bought it? And that's how we got it done.
Yeah.
Got it. Smart kid. I mean, yeah. The only thing with him is like, all right, do you have any friends not named your favorite wide receiver and his parents?
Right.
Yeah, it's like, and I get, him and Chase since college, their parents are best friends. I get it. But do you have any social life outside of them?
Yeah, he said he doesn't like he likes the life of being what he is, but he don't like that life either because it's not private. He likes to be a private person.
He likes to keep a piece of it private, and then he's like, the rest of it, hey, it's out there. Yeah. I live a very public life. I'm good with it, but there's at least a little something that I need to keep just for me. That's understandable.
The Huddle Sports Network on Facebook is not going live, and I can't get Rob to reconnect his X channel so we can get more views. That's why our views have dropped off.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, we'll pick up on the overnight. And I just did Hallis Hall on all my X channels. So, but I didn't send them all to the same one, so we should pick some up. X has been kind of a little weird lately, though. Which the CEO of X, she just resigned, so maybe that had something to do with it. I don't know, but we'll get something up. Yeah, I don't know why the huddle is. Well, that's because someone else is live right now, maybe.
I think that. Well, yeah, I think Ken is on there live.
Yeah, Ken Malone and Robert.
Oh, yeah,
Robert Patana, the Red Zone rant. They're on the same time we are.
And the Redneck Eagles fan. That's why I call him the Redneck Eagles fan.
You know what though? I have to applaud Netflix for when they dropped this show.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's that point of the season where there's nothing, right? It's just a clickbait shit. And this gave us something. And
exactly.
And you know what? And the thing too, like I don't want Hard Knocks, it's a distraction. Joe Burrow not only had this show following the whole year last year, he also had Hard Knocks at that tail end of the season, and that dude balled. I don't want to hear it's a distraction. These shows, Hard Knocks, doing dude, these shows don't affect these guys, man. Doing these little interview sessions and that, having the cameras around, it didn't affect any of them. I mean, yeah. So I don't want to hear that. I hate hearing that argument when they, we better not have, like, the Bills are going to have Hard Knocks. Oh, it's going to be such a distraction. No, it's not. I think Joe Burrow just proved it's
Amber.
Hey, it's the one, the only Jamie Malloy.
Jamie,
what's up, Jamie?
Hey.
Go see, like last night.
Wait. Let me. What?
We can see the top of your head.
Yeah, long time no see, like last night. We haven't seen you since last night.
I asked for a link and nobody sent me. Joe and I asked for a link and nobody sent it to us.
Well, I haven't been on X, so if you asked me on there, I haven't been on my main account in a while today.
No, I went to my driving to the top production. I said, "Is there a link for Open Sports Night?" And I never got a response.
It's the same link every week. Just so you know.
Which one is it again? I forgot.
I'll send it to you next time, Jamie, and then just save it in your browser.
Oh, the open sports mic one?
Yeah, I can send it to you after the show.
Yeah.
You know what, Ken? I
didn't know you were doing that.
Better production in this quarterback's Netflix than it was with the wide receivers.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it was a lot better done.
I think it's easier with the quarterbacks and the wide receivers for some reason.
So the link I clicked for this is going to be the link I would click for open
all the time. No, like the link I sent you tonight through your email. That link is always for this show every Wednesday. You can save it to your browser as like a bookmark.
Yeah.
And then all you got to do is go in it every week at 9:00.
Yeah, Brian, I think quarterback.
I never got a link for last night though, Ken.
No, but I'm saying I've got a link. I've got a link from last night's show with Open Mic. I can send it to you the same way.
Yeah.
Copy, paste it, email it to you. That way you have it, and you can do the same thing and just label the bookmark Open Sports Night.
Okay.
Yeah, Brian. Now that you mention it, season 1 a quarterback had better production than a wide receiver did as well.
Right.
Maybe it's easier to shoot quarterbacks than wide receivers.
I think it's because the wide receivers are so big of divas compared to what everybody thinks that the quarterbacks are divas, and they're not as much.
I think it's more the importance of the position too. I think quarterbacks get more. They need to give the quarterbacks more love than the wide receivers. Wide receivers are, I mean, they're part of the rotation, but really quarterbacks are the most important person on the field. So
I mean, the quarterback's easier to shoot game footage of than the receivers are too, and practice footage of. But yeah, I think the production was a little bit better. My question is though, if this is the format Netflix is going to use, does that mean we're going to get a season 2 of wide receivers, or are they going to do a different position like running back, defensive end?
That would be nice.
If they did do running back, they could talk about how for the last few years it's kind of been a dime a dozen position, and it's kind of been a little bit devalued because we see teams that look at the Cowboys. They're on their 3rd straight year of running back turnover.
Yeah, but they're going to want to pick 2 or 3 guys with big name rec that can sell the show.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be like King Henry. They'd have to have him. They'd have to have Saquon on the show, and then I don't know who'd the third be.
The Giants.
Maybe.
Don, you're the I can tell you're the Giants fan, right?
Yeah, Dan.
Huh?
That's
Dan.
Oh, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. You know what's funny? I know, you guys hate the Eagles and everything, but guess what? The Eagles should have been freaking kissing the Giants' feet for letting him go there.
Yeah. No, he's not wrong.
Yeah, but you know what? It would have done no service to either team, to either the Giants or to him to re-sign him. The team is not in a place where they can compete, and the offensive line was not good enough that would keep him from getting hurt again. Letting him walk was a smart move for him.
His offensive line was bad, so you let him go to the Eagles where they had the best offensive line. And the one thing you were able to do though, even though you guys had a bad year, you used the money to upgrade your offensive line. And guess what? Even in a 3-14 season, your offensive line was top 15 in the NFL last year before everybody got hurt. I looked it up.
Austin, going back to that running back thing, I think they want to go with Gibbs because they don't want to go with the same team 2 seasons in a row. If you notice that, they pick guys from different squads. So, Saquon, they could go with because they haven't done anyone from the Eagles. Henry, they haven't done anything with Baltimore. I don't think they'd go back to Detroit for a 2nd season in a row. The only reason Kirk is on 2 years in a row, he's with 2 different teams, right? Or two quarterback years. But last year for receivers, it was the Jets, it was the Raiders, and who was the other receiver they followed?
It was the Lions. Amon St. Brown.
St. Brown. So yeah, they're not going to go back. I mean, they could, but I don't think they will.
They did 4
wide receivers because they had Devontae Adams on there.
Yeah, but that was the Raiders.
Yeah.
I mean, they go to Green Bay. But I'm wondering if they're going to do running backs next year, if it's going to be receivers again, or give us the tight end some love, or defensive ends, or linebackers, or. But I like the format of the show. The format of the show is really good.
Mm-hmm.
What about O-linemen and D-linemen?
What? Yeah, and linemen in general, defensive or offensive I think it'd be cool to see that.
I think cornerbacks.
The offensive linemen, they're the most important. They're the most important people in the whole game of football. But they never got their flowers until this year because they're going to finally give an award to the best O lineman, which I wrote a story.
Well, and the thing is, if you're Netflix, what's going to get eyeballs?
Offensive lineman or Joe Burrow. No, offensive lineman is back. In fact, Joe Burrow comment about offensive linemen when they had them all together. They say offensive are a different bunch of players. That's for sure. They
I do
are.
agree with that, though. I do think Dawkins and who was it, Andrew Whitworth? I do think that was great for the NFL honors. I think it was great that they made an award to have the best offensive lineman because they've never gotten recognized. For
Yeah, they should have been done that long time ago.
I thought that was a great idea, and it finally came, and it's finally happening.
Yep. But and the only other real news is the whole collusion case between the NFL and the NFLPA with the Deshaun Watson deal in Cleveland. That whole investigation has been tabled indefinitely.
I'm not surprised.
But I think they could. The two defensive positions that they could probably get away with is probably defensive end because everybody likes the guys that sack the quarterback,
Pass
and then
rushers, defensive backs,
and then defensive back. Yeah,
yeah, like Myles Garrett would be and Max Crosby. Come on, I'd watch that.
And TJ Watt.
Well, see,
Aiden Hutchinson.
The defensive ends and the defensive backs go hand in hand because your corners are only as good as your edge rushers. That's why.
Actually, McCaffrey would actually sell. Austin, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, CMC would be a market. But the running back, that's the thing with the running backs. It's a very slim market. CMC, Barkley, King Henry. After that, outside of their market, it's going to be hard to sell the show.
Gibbs.
No, outside of the NFC North in Detroit, the dudes in the West Coast don't care. You know, I mean, you got to think about they're trying to sell the show nationally. I mean, like Lions fans like Gibbs, and even Bears fans like, yeah, I'd watch that. But a Niners fan,
holy crap! He actually adopted the name. It's Jordan Edelman.
Yes,
there you go.
nickname I gave him.
What's up, Jordan? Good to see you, G-Dub.
I mean, the one who gave him that nickname.
It's hard for running backs, tight ends. You got a couple. You got Kittle, you got Brock Bowers, but there's been so much stuff done on Kittle. I don't think he needs. And Kittle was part of receiver. He was.
And
part
do we
of
really
receiver.
want to see Kelce? I mean, he's like, no, I don't want to see Kelce. I see him too much during the season with.
Yeah, and when they did Ayuk, was their focus for San Francisco for wide receiver? They looped in Kittle and they did a bunch of stuff on George Kittle too. So you know, because tight ends like a couple of them that are marketable. After that, yeah,
come on, Brian. Players. You don't want to see Kelce do two things at once again, like the Pfizer commercial. I'm just kidding. That's a funny commercial, though. I love that commercial.
You guys, speaking of Travis Kelce, I have to say this because I went to Connecticut for 4th of July weekend. We did a lighthouse boat tour, and yes, I did see Tay-Tay's house over there off the Sound there in Connecticut. Her and her boy Toy weren't there, unfortunately, but that was supposedly the highlight of the tour. We saw Tay-Tay's house. It's a beautiful house.
No.
Well, hold me back. I'm excited. I'll spend that money.
It was a nice day in the water.
Hey, you know what?
So I guess it was a blank base
if they
then,
did
right?
put Kelce on, you would get more Tay-Tay exposure.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see that Carpenter's nightmare.
Speaking of exposure, Jamie, what do you think about your team being on Hard Knocks?
Normally, I feel like with the old rules, I would not like it, but because they changed the rules where it's more about you can show the team's culture instead of like all the woo crazy stuff. But and I just found out the Hard Knocks directors from Penfield. I didn't know that. Penfield, New York, which is it's suburban Rochester. I actually lived there until when I was the first couple of years I was a baby. I lived in Penfield, and then I've been living in my current house in Webster since 1998. So, but that's really cool. I think it's a good time for them to do it because, like I said, they want to show all the good things that they've done, and they're picking a good team to do it. And like I said, it's going to give St. John Fisher University, the college, more exposure too, because I went to Fisher, and Fisher just got a new football coach because their old football coach retired last year after 33 years. So I think it's kind of it's a perfect time to do it in terms of stuff like that. But like I said, I think the way they do it now, yes, but with the old rules.
No, I like the way they did the Bears last year. I like the way they've done the in-season the last couple of years. Even the Giants, preseason one with the draft, I like the way. The
only thing that commemorate their 100th anniversary when they did it with the Giants.
The only thing that could make the quarterback show on Netflix better would be Liv Schreiber doing voiceovers every so often. But I mean, Hard Knocks is. I mean, I watched it, then for a while I stopped watching because of what you said, Jamie, and now I think it's produced really well.
JB, I gotta run out. I'll be back.
Okay. Well, we might be here.
Okay, bye.
At least, what I like most, though, JB, about Jamie's answer there? He didn't say it was going to be a distraction.
Right. And that's what I was telling
because I don't think it is, because they're, like I said, they've got the right culture there. They got a good coach and a GM that's
Jamie, that's not the argument.
People in the front office.
Jamie, that's not the argument, brother. The argument that teams used to make is because the cameras were there and HBO was there. It was this big distraction that, so the teams didn't get their work in. But like what we just saw with quarterback and Joe Burrow, who not only had that TV show from Netflix crew flying around the entire season, he also had Hard Knocks flying around for the last, third of the regular season. And he went off during that time period. That proves that it's not a distraction. Like these guys, they're there, but it doesn't distract them from doing their jobs.
Right. It's only a distraction if you have the people there that make it a distraction. Like I said, McDermott and Bean are going to make sure that it's not a distraction because that's not who they are as coach and GM.
Okay. I know, Jamie, what he's trying to say is that all the fans, the last couple of years, like when the Lions were on the preseason one and the Bears were on the in-season one last year, all the fans tried that it would be a distraction to the team, and it wasn't.
That's what I'm saying too. It's only a distraction if people make it a distraction.
No, it's never been a distraction.
It isn't.
What I'm saying, it's never been a distraction. It's always been a false argument by fans who don't want their team on the show for whatever reason.
Right.
Buffalo.
The Bills.
Buffalo like 500 times, Robbie.
Yeah, and then the end season is going to be the NFC East.
Right.
Is the end season Hard Knocks. Yeah, I don't know if I like them doing the division versus a team for the end season.
I don't know. You got to see what it's like because they haven't done it before. I think it'd be pretty cool. I would like to see them
doing a division.
It'd be a great end season. I'm not taking nothing away from NFC East.
Philly and Washington.
Well, no, Brian.
I'd like to see them do the NFC North or the AFC North. The AFC North and the
last
NFC
year
North.
was the AFC North, and the year before that, last year was the first year they did a division. The Dolphins were the last year they did a team by itself for the end. So we've had 1 year of them doing a division. The only thing I don't like about that is you're on an 8-year cycle. Your division is going to be on the show at least once every 8 years.
Yep, exactly. He goes, I didn't hear him, Brian.
Oh, yeah. No, quarterback was a good show, man. It was worth watching. Like I said, Jared Goff, I didn't become more of a fan of him. I didn't dislike him anymore. To me, like of the three guys, he's just the most
lame.
He was there. Yeah. Like there's some things about him I'm like, I believed him. And there are other things I'm like, dude, you're just saying a line. It's like I felt at times you got the authentic Goff, and other times maybe it might be the authentic Goff. It just didn't feel it. Like he was just saying the words that he knows people want to hear. It's like, I don't know. I mean,
Jared Goff reminds me, if he wasn't playing football, I think he reminds me of that laid back, chill rocker, rock on.
I'll agree that that's one thing I liked about him. He is pretty chill. His house isn't like full of all kinds of stupid stuff, but like the whole Christmas thing where he's trying to, she called him out. His wife called him out. Like, he never does this. Like, he's only doing it because you're here. It's like,
when it was decorating the tree, she gave that look to the camera like, yeah, okay, you chopped the tree down, okay.
Yeah, she dimed him. It was great. And he's like, I can just climb on this bookcase. I was like, dude, come on.
Yeah, but Jeremy, Brian, do you guys see him the way I saw him if he wasn't playing football, like starting a rock band or something?
No, I actually think that Jared Goff would play Ryan Gosling's dad in a movie.
Yeah.
I see him as a rock band type of dude.
Come on, Brian, that's funny.
You never saw the did you ever see the Frank video with him? He invited him out to fish.
Yeah.
And Goff came out there in some skinny jeans and shit.
It was funny. He had
Frank Ragnow was like, what the hell?
He stood up to fish. He was like, what the hell is that on your head?
Right. But he made him become an avid fisher because that's what he does now. He fishes.
Yeah.
And he wears normal fishing clothes now.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what makes him a chill dude. He fishes.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. The only thing you really saw of Joe Burrow's personal life was his clothes person.
Mm-hmm.
His clothes guy. They're looking out the off. That was an interesting little peek behind the curtain.
What about last year when he was rocking the Slim Shady hair?
That was
that's
stupid.
Yeah, but no, it was a good show, man. I mean, it's hard not dude. Tell me now, we're all not. What's the name of the drink now? I just brain farted it. Kirk Cousins' favorite drink, Coke and Grenadine.
Yeah. What did he call that? The Roy Rogers.
Roy Rogers. Yep, I hadn't heard that. Dude, I had not heard that since the 70s, like when I was a child. And it's like, holy crap. It's like, well, I can only have one of these. I'm like, dude, it's like a Tuesday. You can have like 3 of them. He's like, nope, I can only have one because it's a special occasion. I'm like,
Kirk Cousins, his cousin Jake pitches for the Yankees, but he's out with Tommy John surgery. I wonder if you guys knew that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I knew that.
Hey.
I thought what was interesting about Kirk Cousins is his 2 high school teammates and his brother, they all go to one game together every year. And every year something good happens for Kirk when they go.
Mm-hmm.
It was hilarious.
You know what's funny too, reliving their season, Atlanta season, it's funny when you hear Atlanta fans talk about Kirk Cousins, it's like, oh, he ain't nothing. Dude set the franchise mark for passing yards in one of the games. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He's playing. When he got hit in that shoulder, that fucked him up.
Well, no, he's your throwback pocket passer guy. He's not going to be a dual threat. That's the difference.
So, Brian, here's the question though, because obviously he's probably healed now.
Throwback,
right?
QB,
he didn't play the last couple games. He's had the off season. Who's going to start Atlanta? Penix or Cousins?
Penix. They're going with Penix. That's why it was a whole big. That's why the whole offseason has been a shambles with him.
Dude, they paid him the $10 million roster bonus. They're not. Yeah. They haven't traded him.
They don't want to.
That's what I'm saying.
I think he's the wild card. He's the wild card of that 2024 class, Michael Penix.
I mean, look at Cousins could make it a quarterback battle at camp.
So
real
quick.
I feel like Michael Cousins. I don't think.
Hold on, let JB go. Hey, Jamie, hold on.
I've been trying to talk for like 10 minutes. But anyway, on June 4th was our last AFC, NFC North review before I got incarcerated on the 6th. Steve Bauer, a longtime follower of my show on Facebook and on YouTube, his wife passed away the night before I was incarcerated.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Steve.
So rest in peace to her. I pray everything's going well. And my heart goes out to you, Steve.
And if we can make you laugh at our stupidity, all the better.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah. But he's a Lions fan, so one pride.
There you go.
Pride.
Yeah, I think Cousins could make that a battle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if they allow it, I don't know what who they got as a backup, really. Come on.
I think nobody's a backup. Penix is running over Cousins' throwback QB.
Yeah, they're going to do that. I mean, eventually, when Goff is gone, they're going to go to a running quarterback situation. I already see what the Lions are doing.
What What if? Let me,
Hooker, right?
let me ask you this one. What if they do what Arizona did with when they had their Super Bowl year? They ran 2 quarterbacks out there.
Oh, Widener and Warner.
Yeah. What's this? I mean, look at why not do that in Atlanta?
It doesn't work. It's never worked in the NFL.
It worked for Arizona. They went to the Super Bowl.
A 2 quarterback system has never worked in the NFL.
Yes, it has.
It worked for Arizona. They literally went to the Super Bowl running it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brian, you know who that quarterback's going to be after Goff, Hendon Hooker?
No, it ain't.
No, I think Hooker's on the way out.
So why not?
Nope.
I like.
They're going to get somebody. But Hooker, something's going on with him that they're not. He's really got to show his ass during preseason this year because I think they don't have any confidence in him right now.
When the guy you drafted, Brian will agree with this. When the guy you draft that gets to be too expensive to keep as your backup and you've never used him, you just draft a new one.
Yeah.
And that's like the Bears. Bagent's going to be a free agent. The Bears,
Hendon Hooker, though. Maybe another team will get him.
Well, yeah, another team will spend some money on him, just like Bagent. Like if Bagent wants too much money, the Bears will let him walk, and someone will pay him because of the 2 or 3 games he had during the Justin Fields year they played, and had a couple decent games. But like Bagent's going to be a free agent at the end of this year, right? So if he wants too much money, the Bears are like, we can get another one easy. So Hooker was drafted, 3rd round? It's not like you spent a 1st rounder. People thought, oh, you stole him. And maybe they did it at the time. That was perception. But then reality came in, and he hasn't progressed the way they wanted to progress, maybe. And that's why he doesn't see the field. Even when Goff had to leave the game last year, Hooker didn't come in, did he?
No, it was Teddy Bridgewater.
Thank
God we signed him.
Yeah.
Well, no, Ken, they did steal him at the time because he probably would have been a 1st rounder if he didn't blow out his knee.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. But then reality happened, and Hooker's not that good. And so they went and they got Teddy Bridgewater instead of having Hooker there. So Hooker's like a good 3rd quarterback because he's cheap on a rookie deal. He cost them nothing, but now when he starts to cost them something and it affects the salary cap in a way they don't like, see ya.
Yeah,
I think the upside of potential is there for him to be an NFL quarterback. It's just not going to be with the Lions.
Probably.
Well, yeah, they start him. Whoever gets him starts him. He can't be a career backup.
And then, he could be a career backup. Like I think Bagent might be that. I think Bagent will be a career backup because look at the teams in the NFL who need starting quarterbacks. It's like you're looking at teams. How many teams can you honestly look at and say, at the end of this year, they need a quarterback? The Saints,
but Ted,
maybe the Colts.
He'll be blessed to be a career backup because he broke a glass ceiling. He was the first Division II quarterback to even make it to the NFL.
Well, Bagent was the first Division II unsigned or undrafted free agent rookie. I mean, he's already broken the glass ceiling in many ways. He's gotten starts, which had never happened. But what I'm saying is, like, with these guys like Bagent and Hendon Hooker, like, well, maybe we could count maybe this many teams, maybe 5 will need a quarterback, maybe next year. So let's say it's 3 to 5. Well, you figure 3 of them are going to come in the draft, and then the 2 from free agency, and are Hooker and Bagent going to be the best guys available even? I mean, if Kirk Cousins is out there, no. Kirk Cousins will get signed. Well, so, I mean,
they were in the same season that they were picked up, correct?
Well,
next year they're not available.
Well, no. Well, no, Tyson Bagent is because he wasn't drafted. He was a undrafted free agent rookie, so his contract is different. Hooker won't be. Hooker's got another year. Bagent does not.
Traded for, right?
Traded for. No, he was an undrafted free agent rookie. So, but when you look at teams who need quarterbacks,
I'm saying Hooker will have to be traded for.
Yeah, they'd trade him or cut him. Yeah. I mean,
well, luckily the 2026 quarterback draft class is supposed to be better than this past year's because they already projected. No, they're saying the 2026 class is going to be better because they project 4 or 5 to go into the first round.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be like the year before. Like this year sucked. Last year was good. Next year will be good. That's what I'm saying. Like, so your guys like Hendon Hooker and Tyson Bagent, like, dude, you're not getting a starting gig. You're going to be a career backup. Unless some weird crazy shit.
That's why I said that.
Bagent's happy to have an NFL career. He was the first one to do whatever he did.
No, he wants to be a starter. He said it. I want to be a starter at some point. I mean, he's not content. I'm just gonna be a backup. The dude wants to start. They all do. Hendon Hooker wants to start somewhere. These guys are competitive. They want to start somewhere.
You got to play to start. Yeah. You got to play well when you start.
The thing is, the good teams that don't need a quarterback, aren't gonna play him. It's the bottom feeders that need a quarterback are gonna start him.
Not necessarily. A team like the Steelers could, because the Steelers might take a chance if they're not going to get the guy they want in the draft. I mean, there's some good teams.
Because I forgot because Rodgers is on a 1-year deal. So yeah.
So I mean, there are some teams who could be middle of the pack and not necessarily be on the bottom feeder that might take a swing at a guy like Bagent or Hooker if they feel that that individual fits their system.
I saw a way early prediction. I saw the Steelers. I saw them going with Lenora Sellers.
No to pageant.
Hey, Inzer, it's secret Bagent, man. Sorry.
You know who's better than
I call him Tyson Beauty Bagent.
You know who's better than Lenore Sellers? And I'm not saying this just because I'm a Clemson fan. He's good. Cade Klubnik. Klubnik is a stud.
Do you think he'll see, here's the thing though. Does he declare for the draft? Or does he do a Carson? Or does he pull a Carson Beck, where Carson Beck originally entered the draft and then he entered the portal?
Who?
So that's the thing.
Klubnik? No, Klubnik's a senior. He has to go.
He could stay for his grad.
He could be a fifth-year senior.
Yeah, no, he's going after this year. I guarantee it because I guarantee you.
Is Cleveland looking for a quarterback after this year?
Maybe. It's Cleveland.
I guarantee he's going to be a top 15 pick.
That's true.
I don't think Klubnik's going number one. Klubnik's not going number one, though.
Man, it's way too early for me to even start fathoming next year's draft and who's going where because they haven't even. Just so much can happen in an NCAA season and an NFL season. That's why I laugh. Like these guys are already doing their mock drafts for next year. How the hell are you doing a mock draft for next year already? Your odds of being right are 0.
Jamie, I'm not saying Arch is bad.
Your odds of being right in a regular draft is 0.
He's going to have to have a Heisman type of year.
Exactly.
He's going to have to win the national championship to be number one. I don't think he's number one.
Really? So basically you're saying Cam Ward shouldn't have gotten number one last year. He didn't win a national championship.
Well, he was the best quarterback in the class. Arch was
he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Jaden Daniels was.
No, he's talking about this.
How about this draft?
Oh, this draft. None of them deserve to be a first-round pick, in my opinion. But
I'm on you with that one. He's not. You know, it reminds me of the draft a couple years ago when the Pittsburgh Steelers picked up Pickett. None of those quarterbacks, he shouldn't have went in the first round.
Yeah. You got lucky.
Yeah, but they already think 4 or 5 are going to go in the first round this year.
Yeah.
You know, with the part of that though, there's another piece of that though too, right? Part of it is there have to be 4 or 5 teams that need a quarterback, and I don't know if there are going to be 4 or 5 teams that need a quarterback.
That's true.
I think there's going to be maybe 3, 4 tops. I don't think it'll be more than that.
Pittsburgh, we know, is going to need one because Rodgers is going to retire probably.
The Browns.
Well, unless they develop Will Howard.
Right, that's what I think they're going to do because they do got a good quarterback coach that has a reputation for developing quarterbacks. I think Will Howard will be a starter next year unless he's absolute dog shit.
Okay, and then you look at New York. Well, I think Jackson Dart, who some say could be the starter this year. Yeah. It's going to be Dart. So, okay, who else needs a quarterback?
The Jets.
Indianapolis
Well, I
Colts.
love Jackson Dart.
Indianapolis
Jets.
Colts, maybe, because Richardson, maybe if Richardson gets hurt again this year, they're done with him.
No, Richardson's got to make the team. He's got to be the starting quarterback first. There ain't no guarantee that's going to happen because Daniel Jones is back there, and Daniel Jones is hungry right now.
I was just going to go there. Daniel Jones is already leading for QB1 in there because he's still not back healthy.
And the Jets can.
I think they'll roll.
I think Justin Fields is going to do good for them.
Yeah, I think they're going to roll at least 2 years with Justin.
With them. I forgot about Justin Fields.
Unless Justin plays like ass, that's the only way they'll draft him. But
he's not going to do worse than what Aaron Rodgers did last year for them. I don't.
That's probably true. Well, Aaron Rodgers didn't have he had a pedestrian season by Aaron Rodgers standards, but he still had a pretty good season. Think about it.
He had a stinky season for Aaron.
He had a stinky season by Aaron Rodgers standards, yeah.
So who needs a quarterback? Really, who needs a quarterback for next year?
Yeah, but Justin Fields, Justin Fields ain't gonna put on a freaking me spectacle like Aaron Rodgers does.
Okay,
go ahead, Jude.
So the last 2 seasons, Aaron Rodgers threw double the interceptions he did his entire career with Green Bay.
Yeah. Right, like I said, by Aaron Rodgers standards, that was sucky play. But by any typical quarterback, any medium level quarterback in the NFL, that was a pretty good season.
And that was with them only playing 5 snaps the one year. One of those was his Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers, he's done. He's washed up old news.
So the Steelers maybe, depending on Howard.
No,
Cleveland.
Howard.
Aaron Rodgers is washed up. We all know it.
Cleveland need a quarterback next year, or I don't know. Maybe
no. They got Gabriel. Remember that. If Stefanski's still the head coach, then they're going to keep because that's his guy. Gabriel is the guy he wanted to draft.
We're in that time period now where a lot of the guys who are going to retire retired, and we've got a lot of guys who now have longevity. So now we're going to go into that time period in the NFL where it's not going to be 4 or 5 teams drafting a quarterback in the first round anymore. Because not for at least another 2 or a little bit of time. If so, like last year's first round picks, they've all worked out so far, which is amazing. If they all work out, continue to work out, then that kind of breaks a little bit of that quarterback cycle for the draft. So yeah, there might be 5 guys next year, but maybe only 3 of them will go in the first round because teams are going to draft a guy if they don't need it.
Guess what's another eye-popping stat about that 2024 draft? You know how you said all the first round picks were good? Did you see day 3 of the 2025 draft where it said 63% of the 2024 class who got picked on day 3, rounds 4 through 7, ended up being starters last year on day 3.
So, talking about quarterbacks for next year, these mock drafts is kind of like, because there might be 5 really good ones coming out, but maybe only 2 or 3 will go in the first round.
Yeah.
It's all a crapshoot anyway.
Like you said, we're in an era now. If you saw it last year, I think we have there's a buddy of mine. His name's Evan. You haven't met him yet because he hasn't been around. He's a big Browns fan, and he was right when he said this. He said we're in an era now, and this started last year where you're gonna actually see teams try to build build old school, like they're gonna get the trench guys and they're gonna try to build around the quarterback,
which is the stupidest thing because that's a basic thing you're supposed to build your team around.
What happened in the first couple rounds? Trench guys were going. Teams were building around the quarterback instead of taking a quarterback.
But Brian, the other thing though is I think teams are learning you have to give these young quarterbacks. You can't give them a year and throw them away. You got to give them 3 or 4 years now. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. They realize we're throwing these guys away too fast.
Yeah, I think, and that's why I think this year for your guy, Caleb, he really has to, he's got everything in front of him. If he drops the keys to this, man, I don't know what to say about him, but I don't expect him to, but I'm just saying he's got everything in front of him. He's got a good offensive coordinator, head coach. He's got a good offensive line now. He's got weapons. I mean, if he fails, he fails. It's going to be on his own. He's going to want to fall on his face.
Don't forget, Ted, we're in an era now, like I said, where these rookie quarterbacks are coming in now, where like there's not really a disparity of quarterbacks throwing for 3,000 to 4,000 yards between the rookies and the veterans like there used to be.
Well, that might be some of that might be because of NIL. I think these guys are coming in more polished because of NIL. NIL is taking some of that education.
Going for 3,500 and 4,000 yards like you're Josh Allen.
I don't know if I can say more polished. I think that we're 5 years into the NIL now, and you have 5 years of players on these teams now, and it's just something it's an ebb of change that's going in the NFL. I don't necessarily think they're more polished because there's too many of them transferring to a different school every year, and that's something that's got to stop. They got to curtail that shit.
Well, let me clarify the polish piece, because it used to be you came out of college, you were broke as a joke, and all of a sudden you got handed millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Now these guys are coming out of college and they've been millionaires for 2-3 years already. So that initial stupidity that rookies used to go through, they're not going through it because they had that in college when it's okay to go through the stupidity, right? And they got a better education on how to be a professional, how to handle money, how to handle fame, how to handle those things. I think a lot of that is because of NIL.
And all the rule changes through the years that have made
they
it
still do stupid shit anyway when they get the money. It's not they change anything to them.
They buy the Batmobile.
Yeah, or they spend all their money on a Benz and they have to get bailed out by their dad.
Playing defense a totally different way.
But I mean, like Caleb came out when he was in college. What was he making? 20-25 mil a year. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr. Those guys were making 20-25 mil a year. They had money already.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree with you. There's still some rookies are going to do stupid shit.
Yeah, every year.
They'll get arrested with weed and guns in their car.
Yeah. Or driving high speeds.
Yeah.
I can't believe the dude got 2 tickets in a week for driving fast.
Don't you know who my dad is?
Right. That's the first thing he probably said to them cops, too.
You know what I hope the cop said back to him? He's like, don't you know who my dad is? What, your mom didn't tell you?
No, the cop should have said. The cop should have said you'd be nothing he should have said, don't you know who my dad is? I'd say yeah, and the cop should have said yeah, and guess what? You're nothing now that he's not coaching you anymore. No, that's what I would have said.
I like that your mom didn't tell you thing. It's just funnier, right?
What about you're nothing now?
I can't take credit. I saw that it was a real video. A guy pulled this girl over. I guess her dad was like a councilman. She's like, don't you know who my dad is? And the cop just deadpan looked down like, what, your mom didn't tell you?
Did you see the one where the Texas congressman was yielded his time to this liberal woman, and she goes, are you familiar that my dad served 10 years as a representative of Texas? And the guy goes, no, I didn't know that. And he goes, did you know my dad drove an Oscar Mayer Wiener truck for 25 years?
Got a little comebacks. Boys, it's only about 2 weeks until the season, thank God. Or 2 weeks of camp. Amen. Man.
5 more days, or what is it? 7 more days till Lions camp starts.
Yeah, the teams will start filtering in.
Chargers too, right? Chargers start camp same time, don't they?
Oh,
and the Bears, I think, are like the 9th. I think they're like 11 days out from reporting a rookie.
Because I know the Lions and the Chargers had to start early because of the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame game. I don't know if the preseason games. I think like we're happy because there's football, but at the same time, it's like we see the starters for like what?
1 second.
If you see them.
Yeah,
it's gonna get worse when we go to 18 and 2 preseason games.
Yeah, they're gonna have people off the street playing.
Like, hey, the replacement,
Starting at right guard, B. Strilla. Starting at left tackle, Mike Vogel.
Right.
Your running back It's the caged lion because he can run from the law, but you can't catch him.
I got caught.
At quarterback, it's senior at quarterback. Oh, geez.
Shane Falco, no.
Right.
Yeah, well, Shane Falco moment. Yeah,
Falco.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, the nice thing, like I said, at least with quarterback, we got a little bit of a break from the clickbait. My God.
The replacement preseason, that would be pretty funny.
So I'm going to go through this one at a time. We can find Ken every morning just before my show with Ken and Ken in the morning with his buddy Ken Catalone, with usually Joe, occasionally Sarah if she ever has the day off, and a few others, and I bump in there every now and then.
Broski.
Sarah's cool from what I could tell.
Broski Bear.
Cool. Then we got Will Vogels, who has his sports collectible and comic book channel, Will W Vogs 18. Jamie Malloy, you've got way too much to say. Go ahead and do it yourself.
I'll close this out. Thank you very much, Jeremy. So you guys could follow me, yours truly, at Bill's Chat 1 at Bill's Mafia Chat. And then you can also follow me at Jamie Malloy, the unbiased journalist, at DJ Dog Tags. That's my handle down there. On X, theforkball.com, and stadiumrant.com, where I write about all sports. You can also catch me on Driving to the Top Productions every Tuesday at 8 o'clock p.m., where Joe Dalio and we do our Subway Conversation baseball pod. We just recorded an episode last night. Then 9 o'clock p.m., I'm sorry I missed last night. I did not realize that we have a single link for that now. Thank you for reminding me, Jeremy. But I will make sure to be back on next Tuesday at 9 o'clock p.m. for Open Sports, Mike. And then you could catch me here with Jeremy and the crew here on the Huddle Sports Network NFL Roundtable Talks. And then starting in February next year, on Thursday nights, we'll be doing season 2 of UFL Recap for season 3. And then don't forget to thank you guys very much for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to all of our platforms. And don't forget to like, comment, ring the bell for notifications. You can visit Facebook, X, Twitter stream to listen to us or wherever you consume your podcast. Thank you very much for listening, folks. We look forward to hearing from you and listening next week or next Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. for NFL Roundtable Talks here on Huddle Sports Network. Have a good night, folks.
Don't forget you can get us on Fire TV and Roku as well at the Huddle Sports app.
Yep.
Yeah, One Ass Cheek and Three Toes is on at 4 p.m. Sunday. Tune in.
I always like that, One Ass Cheek and Three Toes. But don't we have sponsors for you, Davey? I know that's where you're going.
Yes, we do, and we love these.
That's your favorite part of the day.
It is. We're going to start at the bottom because you're here. Fuck the Bears. FTP. Fuck the Packers.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Yes, we heard it. And Skull. It's like saying score, but with the cock in your mouth. And yes, I'm back at Brandon in Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. That's the only way to make the world a better place, unless you're talking to a rival fan base, then fuck them.
There you go.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the hub.
What's up, buddy?